It seems like we're having some struggles with Chapter 9, and it's one we've got to be good at. So Chapter 9 review. I'm going to actually go over the problems themselves. So this could be kind of a, if you need something to double check yourself. So I'll have different videos for each problem. Excuse me. Alright, so in the first problem it says stating hypotheses, state the appropriate null and alternative hypotheses in each of the following settings. Explain why the sample data gives some evidence for the alternative in each case. So this is problem number 1. The review is on page 615. And part A says the average height of an 18-year-old American woman is 64.2. So I'm going to say that's mu, 64.2. I'm going to write that down. That's in inches. You wonder whether the mean height of this year's female graduates from a large local high school differs from the national average. You measure an SRS of 48 females, and you find that X bar, these are all graduates, X bar equals 63.5 inches. And you calculate the standard deviation from that group to be 3.7 inches. Excuse me. So the key word in this is differs. That's a does not equal kind of word. They don't know if we're taller or shorter is basically what they're saying. So this came into play probably before the sample was taken. Is it different? Let's take a sample and see. And so they took the sample appears to be less, but my null hypothesis here is going to be that mu, the average age of, or the average height of these females is 64.2, that's the given number of inches, versus the alternative, and we're wondering, is it different? Okay. And is there some evidence in this case? Yeah, there is, and in a later problem they're going to have us calculate that evidence. What I've told my students in the first class is that we actually did calculate it out. But I think the evidence here is simply that we have a lower value than what was presumed to be true. So there is some evidence. Because our sample mean is less than the, I'll call it mu sub naught, the presumed true null hypothesis. I would write that out further if I was doing this for an AT test, but I'm going to go for a little bit of speed here. B gives us, it says, Rob once read that a quarter of all people have danced in the rain at some point in their lives. His friend Justin thinks that the proportion is higher than 0.25 for their high school. To settle their dispute, they ask a random sample of 80 students. They find out that 28 have played or danced in the rain. So the proportion that's suspected is 25% have played or danced in the rain. And their sample of 80 students gave a value, oops, not X bar, an X value, a success of 28. So 28 said that they danced in the rain out of 80. So my null hypothesis here is going to be that the true proportion, or the proportion of people who've danced or played in the rain, is 25%. Versus an alternative that it's greater than that because Justin thinks the proportion is higher. Okay. And is there some evidence of that? Well, yeah, because p hat is going to be 28 out of 80, which is more than, that's 35%. So our sample proportion was quite a bit higher than the null hypothesis, the statement of the null hypothesis. So there is evidence. Because p hat is greater than p. That's the 0.35 and the 0.25. Is it significant? Well, we'll find that out a little bit later in, I think, problem 3.